Okay, so we are live and we're about to watch another episode of Batman the Animated Series. Although, actually, we're watching two episodes of Batman the Animated Series because we are watching the part one and two of Robin's Reckoning, which is the origin of Robin. So, at the time that this episode was made, uh, and we'll do a little brief history of Robin real quick. All right, so in 1940, Dick Grayson was introduced into Batman comics as Batman's sidekick, Robin the Boy Wonder. He was an orphan circus acrobat, and Batman was training him to be a crime fighter. Robin would remain a mainstay in the comic books up until the beginning of the Bronze Age. Basically, what would happen is about midway through the Silver Age, ABC had bought the rights to make a television show, a live action television show based on Batman. Basically, they thought it was a good idea to make a series based on a comic book. So they tried Superman, tried to get the rights to Superman, and the rights to Superman were all tied up, presumably because of the Broadway musical. They tried to get the rights to Dick Tracy, but the rights to Dick Tracy were all tied up. So their third choice was this character called Batman. Now, Batman's comic book was not doing very well at the time, but once the TV show started, sales went up dramatically. And, they remained up as long as the show was popular, but eventually its star began to fade, and the Batman television series was canceled, and the decision was made at DC Comics that they would basically try to make Batman as little like the television show as possible. Hello, Sean Franklin. Welcome. So Batman wound up becoming more of a darker figure once again. Neil Adams was the artist at the time, and he was teamed up with a writer called Denny O'Neil, and magic happened. And one of the things that was done with Batman during this period was they decided to ship Robin off to college and take Batman back to being a solo crime fighter. And Robin appeared still very frequently because he was still a popular character, but he appeared in backup comic strips and he appeared in Teen Titans. And in fact, where I really became a fan of Robin was the new Teen Titans comic that Marv Wolfman and George Perez produced, and they made Robin cool. In fact, they made him so cool that they felt the need to you going to Thanksgiving? I don't know. Hopefully, I guess we'll see if somebody invites me. So yeah, so Batman became a solo crime fighter again. Robin was off on his own, and since he was doing so successfully on his own, they decided to have him become his own superhero character, and that's the guy that we know as Nightwing. But of course, Batman still needed to have a Robin, so they introduced a new character named Jason Todd, who became the new Robin. Now, at first, Jason Todd was just kind of like a carbon copy of Dick Grayson, but that didn't go over so well with fans. So they decided to reinvent Jason Todd once Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, and they were having a reboot anyway, so might as well reboot Robin while we're at it. And Jason Todd then became a streetwise homeless kid who stole the tires off the Batmobile, and Batman was so impressed by this kid's moxie, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna make you the new Robin." So conveniently, his mother had died of an illness, and his father had been a henchman of Two-Face who'd been murdered by the villain. So this didn't go over so well with the fans either. They went too far in the opposite direction, and basically the readership decided that Jason Todd wasn't an unlikable little shit. And it didn't help that the writer of Batman at the time, Jim Starlin, very talented comic book creator and did a lot of Batman stories that I really enjoy, absolutely hated just the concept of Robin and Jason Todd in particular, apparently. which is ironic because he actually wrote quite a few of my favorite Jason Todd stories, but that's neither here nor there. But since the character wasn't very popular and they knew they needed to do something to reboot the character again, and excuse me, Dennis O'Neil wanted to experiment with these new 900 number things going on. Have you read? I haven't read a whole lot of New 52. I wasn't too fond of the New 52. They made like a few too many what I felt like were arbitrary changes. So I just like screw it. I'll wait for the next reboot and see how it does. And Rebirth did better for me, but it still found a way to screw that up too. but no, I haven't read a lot of New 52. Sorry. I did like the New 52 Shazam. I thought that was a pretty good series. And then the New 52 Batgirl series was good. Most of the Batman stuff was okay, but there was some even Batman stuff that was kind of stupid. But I didn't like the New 52 version of Superman. And to me, like the DC universe lives or dies by how well they do Superman. So, Batman might be my favorite, but Superman is probably actually the most important as far as like the DC universe goes. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, they swung it too far in the other direction. And people didn't like Jason Todd because he was just kind of like, too brash, and like there was a storyline where it implied that he'd murdered somebody. Which I actually really liked that story, and I don't blame him if he did murder the guy. He was a scumbag. But yeah, check out that storyline. It was the last storyline that Jim Starlin wrote before Death in the Family. So check that out. If you haven't read Jim Starlin's run on Batman, like there's a lot of really good stuff there, and it's probably some of the darkest Batman comics I ever read, which is funny because it's in the mainstream Batman storyline, but he's dealing with like serial killers and stuff like that. It gets pretty twisted and messed up. So, and also Batman the Cult, he wrote that one. Bernie Wrightson artwork, beautiful. Anyway, so then we were left again with a Batman with no Robin, and they needed to create a new Robin because one of them had outgrown the role and the other one had died. So they created a new character named Tim Drake. And for those of you unfamiliar with Tim Drake, here he is. Here's the action figure of Tim Drake. That's what he looked like. And it's worth pointing out that once they decided it's time to create a new Robin character, they also decided it's time finally to update this kid's costume. We can't have him running around in like little elf boots and swim trunks anymore. He's got to have something at least a little more tactical. I mean, I know he's a superhero character, but maybe we could at least give him long pants. How about that? So a lot of artists at DC Comics, gave their pitch for what should be a Robin costume, and lo and behold, a name we're familiar with. We discussed him just a few minutes ago, Neil Adams. He's one of the guys they contact to design a good Robin costume. They hadn't really had anything that they really liked yet, and this is what Neil Adams came up with. And to me, this is just brilliant. This is the best Robin costume that has ever been made. So that brings us up to Batman the Animated Series, and of course, if you're going to have a cartoon show about Batman, you gotta have Robin in it. But which Robin are we going to use? Because this Tim Drake character, he just came out. We're not really sure if the fans are responding to him yet, because he hasn't really had that many appearances, and maybe not any appearances at all. Like really early on, we certainly can't use Jason Todd because everybody knows what's going to happen to Jason Todd. So let's go back to the original Robin, Dick Grayson. But since we've got this really cool updated Robin costume that Neil Adams designed for us, let's put Dick into this costume. Let's have him wear the new Robin costume, because even though there haven't been that many appearances of Robin so far, people seem to really like that costume, and it is pretty cool looking. Neil Adams designed it. Dude's legendary. He did a lot of great comics. I'm just saying. So yeah, the Robin that we had in Batman the Animated Series was more influenced by that Bronze Age version of Robin. He'd still been shipped off to college, but he came home to visit, with Bruce and Alfred every now and then for holidays. like we saw in Christmas with the Joker, or if Batman's having a really rough time, or just just to show up and shoot the shit, reunite the dynamic duo again one more time, and have some fun with that. So so yeah, that's basically where Robin's at this point in the story. But we haven't explained where Robin came from, so let's go ahead and do the origin of Robin in Robin's Reckoning. Here we go. Shout out to Lauren Lester. There's our WB logo, turns into the blimp. We're going to pan down to the bank. Lauren Lester did the voice of Dick Grayson / Robin / Nightwing all through Batman the Animated Series in all of its iterations. Did a great job. The other thing I really know him for is he played Flash Gordon's son in the Defenders of the Earth cartoon. So yeah, he gives a great performance, especially in this episode. So still no little white spot on Batman's lip. I don't guess we're gonna see it in this version. But yeah, and we're also, since obviously it's the origin, we're gonna see the younger version of Dick Grayson when he was just a wee little whippersnapper. He's drawn in a very Dick Sprang style. And that's a really nice shot of the empty trapeze podium, directed by Dick Seabass, written by Randy Rogel, I think it was. This is a great episode. This is one that I fondly remember.
You sure about this extortion ring? It's been 4 hours. You still think they'll show? Lucky for me, you're such a good conversationalist.
Even Batman gives a little bit of a smile there. But Batman's a man of few words, and Robin's a little chatterbox.
There's the slime. All right.
It's interesting they chose a construction site as the scene for our first part here.
Good thing we had that little chat.
In the comic books, when they fight Boss Grissom and his thugs at the end of the first Robin story, it's on a construction site. But they definitely want to lay it on thick with establishing Robin as being more of a lighthearted character than Batman, and Robin having a bit of cheerfulness about him. Batman does this because he's compelled to do it. Robin does it because it's fun. I also kind of feel like this is bringing that Fleischer flavor that was such a big part of the early Batman the Animated Series. If Fleischer had have done a Batman cartoon, I'm sure it would have been a lot like this. The rivet gun. And of course, this works in a way that's not how rivet guns work in real life, but you see that a lot in movies. I'm thinking about a very similar scene in Darkman, where they were shooting at Darkman with the rivet gun and actually managed to shoot his palm and have it stuck to the girder. Remember that? Come to think of it, the coloration of Robin, it's where did I put it? It's very similar now that I think about it, with the darker green and everything like that. Very similar to the new McFarlane Superpowers figure.
Let them go. He's all we need.
The actual Batman the Animated Series Robin figure used a much brighter shade of green.
I ain't saying nothing till I see my
Almost teal. It's like that plucky duck shade of green.
Let's go.
Okay, leave you hanging then.
police. You want help? I want a name.
You know Batman's not going to let that guy die.
I can't say nothing. You tear me apart. Oh, then you got a problem. Hey, come on, for pity's sake. It's Marin, Billy Marin.
Batman recognizes that name. They cut it awful close with that guy.
And where do we find Mr. Marin? I can't spill it. Forget it, Robin. What? I said forget it. But this guy's ready to sing. Let it go. The police can take it from here. Go get the Batmobile. What? Now.
And if you don't think that that's odd, Robin sure does. And he's able to communicate it to the audience. But Batman's not done with this guy yet.
It's you, me, and 30 stories. You're going to tell me exactly what I want to know. Why can't I go with you? What's the deal? I'm working alone tonight. Come on. I don't get to do this much since I started college. And it's because I jumped the gun back there. I'm sorry. It's something I have to do alone. So that's it. No apologies, no explanation. Just see you later, kid. You know the rules. There are times when I can't explain my
Actions even to you.
Hey, that line worked great in 6th grade, but in case you hadn't noticed, we'll discuss this later.
Huh. There can be a little bit of back and forth between Batman and Robin on this show. It's not like the old Adam West show where Batman would just say, "No, Robin, think of it this way." Like, gosh, Batman, I never thought of it that way before.
Never. He's a stone cold, self-righteous monster. Try not to be too critical.
Yeah, dick. That's exactly what he is.
There is reasons Master Bliss has your best interest in mind. He shuts me out, man. Treats me like a kid. I don't get it. Everything was going great until that Marin business came up. You ever hear of a crook named Billy Marin, Alfred? Can't say that I have. But I'm not one to prove person's faults. I think Batman has.
Now, Tim Drake was very much of a computer guy. Sid the Squid?
But who is he really? Tony Zuko. Oh,
Yeah.
my word. Finally.
They both know who Tony Zuko is. And back in the old days, the Flying Graysons. Circuses are another one of those things that, like, I kind of wonder if 21st century kids even have the conception of what circuses were like back in the old days. So they've got these red and white costumes. A lot of the times, like in Batman Forever, you'll see the Flying Graysons wearing costumes that look kind of similar to the Robin costume, but they avoided that this time. It does kind of remind me a little bit of a completely different superhero from Marvel Comics, the Falcon.
I run an honest business here. I don't pay two-bit hoodlums protection money. Insurance, Mr. Haley. You know, from accidents.
Does that voice sound familiar to you? It should. That's Biff Tannen himself, Thomas Wilson.
Hey, fine. I've tried to be reasonable. You don't want my services? Okay. If you're gonna wish you listen, old man. Oh yeah. Keep my number hand. You're gonna be calling Tony Zuko and Sue. Out of my way, punk.
You make like a tree and get out of here. And Dick's design in these flashbacks is very similar to how he was drawn in the comics of the Golden Age. Dick Sprang, one of the all-time great Batman artists. It pretty much looks like his. And you see this guy cutting away at the ropes. In the comics, they put acid on the ropes, which more mimicked like natural wear and tear.
Let's have a hand for the benefactor of tonight's action-packed pageant, Mr. Bruce Wayne.
And as they often do, Bruce is depicted with a slightly different hairstyle to denote it's a different time period. They make him a little clumsy in a Clark Kent sort of way with him knocking over the popcorn.
Hey, that's the guy. Come on, honey, we're on.
Oh, maybe they should have listened to him. Yay! Some nice suspense there. I remember Alfred Hitchcock talking about like the difference between like shock and suspense. And shock is when like the bomb goes off in the restaurant. Suspense is when they show you the bomb underneath the table at the restaurant and have the whole conversation going on. And then here, they swing out of the spotlight and the broken rope swings back. And you don't see any of the reaction of the audience except for Bruce Wayne. And all of that was done very deliberately because this was the way they had to do it. They could only show Bruce's reaction, and they couldn't show the Graysons falling. That was from broadcast standards and practices. But they managed to make something so impactful.
I want an APV on this.
Bullock's still a uniformed cop. Remember that when we get to Mask of the Phantasm and red-headed Jim Gordon. But yeah, it's like Nicholas Meyer said, art thrives on limitations. I think it probably had a lot more impact this way than if they hadn't been able to show something a little more explicit.
And remember, lad, you'll always be a part of this family.
Thanks, Mr. Haley.
I'll miss you most of all.
I'm gonna miss you too.
Jim with the red hair is one of a few nods to Batman Year One that we'll see in this episode. Driving up to stately Wayne Manor. And I'll say again how much I liked the design of Wayne Manor in this series. And being on the mountaintop like that, that's pretty cool. Bats.
I hope you find this room to your liking. It was Master Bruce's when he was your age.
I think I probably would have given Alfred the black hair, as he often had in the flashbacks also. This wouldn't be too long after Mask of the Phantasm if we think about it.
Thanks, Mr. Wayne.
It's interesting also that in the older stuff, Dick has blue eyes, whereas he's got like black irises in the contemporary episodes.
It's not right, Alfred. He can't take Zuko away from me. I won't let him.
It had to be that guy. He threatened Mr. Haley.
I want an APB on the Zuko. Zuko.
Zuko.
Isn't Bruce coming down to eat?
I'm afraid not tonight. I've got a late meeting. Could be fruitful. Betty was that.
He has a meeting every night. Who does he see?
Aww.
Some of the most influential people in Gotham City.
Alfred taking the plate away.
Come on, 7. Snake Eyes.
Hey. Yeah.
Tough luck.
Snake Eyes.
Change the way they roll. Hey, you're afraid of Tony Zuko's, ain't you? I hear he's been feeling the heat lately. Lucky 5. Yeah, the Z-Man's been lying lower, right?
The Z-Man.
They say he's got bat problems. Big bat problems. Can't help wondering how he's keeping out of sight.
You throw an awful lot of wondering for someone we ain't ever seen before. What'd you say your name was?
Smith.
Smith. That wouldn't be Detective Smith, would it? Or maybe Sergeant? Check his wallet out.
Animation's really good on this episode. Damn, Batman changes fast.
How about Zuko? No way. Ain't no swearing. You get nothing out of it. You hear? Nothing.
This is a great shot here with Batman cracking his knuckles. A friend of mine uses that as his avatar a lot. Savage Bat.
Okay, all right.
Hope he's doing all right. We're about to get a good look at Batman's costume in this, which we hadn't really so far. And it is the Batman Year One costume with the pouches and no oval around the bat emblem. And we remember this guy, don't we? He was the protagonist in It's Never Too Late.
This isn't a social call. I've come for your nephew, Tony Zuko.
You can't just barge in here making demands.
I want him bad, Stromwell. Real bad.
How should I know where he is? I stopped looking after that loser a long time ago.
Yeah.
If you protect him, Stromwell, I'll be very grumpy. You don't want to see me grumpy.
Yeah, I got you.
Misdirection. We just saw him learning from a magician in the last episode.
Smooth, Uncle Arnie. Real smooth. Yeah, you sure suckered that pointy-eared freak. He won't be messing around here anymore.
Fool! You and your petty anti-extortion rackets. Look what you've brought on my house.
Hey, come on. Stop already. We can handle the Batman.
No, buddy boy, this time you've gone too far.
Hey, who's there?
He's still here.
Huh. Remember that when we come to Mask of the Phantasm. Now, they made a Batman action figure in this costume design, but they changed the colors of it. Instead of like the regular Batman gray, it was more of a slightly bluish silver. and instead of a yellow belt, it had a brown belt. That was part of the Mask of the Phantasm line, which is funny because we don't actually get a good look at this suit in the Mask of the Phantasm. But we'd gotten a good enough look at it in this episode. We knew what it looked like.
Hey, Dick. How you doing?
Aww.
Fine.
Sorry I haven't been around. I forget how big and lonely this place can be.
That's okay.
As it turns out, I may have some free time starting tomorrow. How'd you like to catch the Gotham Knights season opener? Box seats.
Great.
I know it must be very difficult.
If only I could have stopped him. I saw him coming out of the tent. I knew he didn't belong there.
I know. You keep thinking, if only I'd done something differently. If only I could have warned them. But there isn't anything you could have done. There isn't anything either of us could have done.
God, this is such a good scene.
Your mom and dad? Does the hurt ever go away?
I wish I could say yes. But it will get better in time. For you. That I promise.
You deceived me! You can't take this one! Zuko's mine!
Sorry, Robin. But on this team, I call the shots.
But I've waited half my life!
Batman out.
Oh no, he's not gonna ace me out. Please, Master Dick, you must do as he says. Not this time, Alfred. Maybe not ever again.
That's pretty ominous. To be continued. So yeah, that was part one, and good setup there. We'll watch the ending credits at the end of the second one. I'm sure it's going to have all the same names to it. In fact, let's do something we never do before. Let's go ahead and skip the intro. We already watched the intro on this episode. We can skip it this once and get back to our story.
Batman. Everything was going great until that.
Can I skip the recap?
And take this one. Not this time.
Okay, written by Randy Rogel, directed by Dick Seabass. We're back to Robin's Reckoning. I'm enjoying it too much. I don't want to wait. Batmobile rumbling.
I told you to sit this one out, Robin.
You're a real piece of work, Batman.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll find Zuko on my own, just like I did before. Ha ha!
So fencing isn't just a bonding thing, is it? No, it's teaching him how to fight.
Try using more control.
He's already training him how to be a crime fighter. I don't think he knows he's going to be Robin yet.
See? It's finesse, not strength.
And of course, being such a Zorro fanboy, as we know that Bruce Wayne is.
Too slow, huh?
Forgive the interruption, sir. Lieutenant Gordon is here to see you. He asked to meet with you in private.
Lieutenant Gordon, as he was in
It's almost time.
Batman Year One.
Yeah, sure.
Another Easter egg, a little nod to that particular comic.
I dropped by to let you know you might not have to keep the boom much longer.
Oh,
We just started putting these up, and already we got a few bites. Zuko's been spotted on the Lower East Side.
Off the record, we hear he's trying to skip town. How soon? Could be tonight. This Batman's got Zuko real spooked. Zuko's friends, too. Nobody will touch the guy.
You notice how now they've gone to the later, the more contemporary Bruce Wayne hairstyle? It's as if, like, his adoption of Dick Grayson has matured him a bit, maybe. Dick's got his little go to hell hat. And he's already got, like, the skills, you know.
Yeah. Hey, ever pick up this guy?
You can see how he's got the potential to make a good crime fighting partner for Batman. Yeah, something. Pull that line. Melancholic music. Fat Polly's Pool Hall. Huh. But yeah, you can see how Batman might look at this kid and be like, he's got some potential. I can train him. Is that Vic Sage? Oh well, now he's got a face.
Who you looking at, boy?
No.
What are you looking at, butthead? Oh, sorry, wrong character. Say hi to your mom for me. And we know that sound, don't we? Everybody they know that sound. Dick has no idea what's going on. Is it a flying saucer?
Who do you think taught you how to grift, Chi-Chi? You don't go skimming money from me.
But I ain't, Lindy. Honest.
Ah,
Oh, yeah?
Chi-Chi.
We'll see about that.
Forgot about her. Yeah, like, she's another one. You can see that Betty Page design in there. She's more Betty Page even than Zatanna was.
Look, I can explain.
We're beyond explanations.
Leave her alone.
Little tough guy.
This kid belonged to you?
Come on, baby. I said leave her alone.
Ow.
Hmm.
You little creep. When I get my hands on you.
Get away, kid. Jump. Come on.
Roaches!
So when's the last time you ate, kid? Christmas?
Sorry, but I'm kind of in a rush.
Hey, you can't expect to find this uncle of yours at this hour. This is the only place around that's still open. Right, Belinda?
Mm-hmm. Hey, I know that deadbeat.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, he's been here, always barking orders, never tipping. I seen him come from that building across the basin.
That place has been condemned for years, right?
Yeah, and may it fall on his head, the mouse.
We all float down here, Georgie boy. You gotta admire the fact that this kid, like, you know, he's going after this guy. It takes some guts. Not a lot of brains, but but he wants his revenge. again, you can see why Bruce would relate to him so much. It's not just the his parents being killed thing. He's a lot like Bruce in a lot of ways, and he's very different from Bruce in a lot of other ways. Hi, Aunt June.
Let go of me.
The circus boy, my little material witness. What are you doing here? Ow!
Why you little?
I was just about to leave town because of you. Looks like I'm gonna have a change in travel plans.
Oh,
Only place you're going is up the river, you scum.
in a way, it's almost like Batman's avenging his own parents' death because he never could find in this continuity. I don't believe he ever found Joe Chill. But now Dick's in trouble. So Zuko's going to get off light.
So much for the bat and the brain.
But if there's one thing that's more important to Batman than punishing evil, it's protecting the innocent. So he can't let Dick go. That didn't come out right. I just got on. I'm watching Batman the Animated Series. This is the episode with the origin of Robin. Oh, he can't quite hold his grip. It's called Robin's Reckoning. It's a 2-part episode. So I'm actually watching the second episode now.
God, he got away. No! You had him. You let him go. You let him. Why? Why'd you do it? Why?
Because he had to save you. You should have just let Batman handle it. But oh well.
Man, oh man. Is this where you live?
This is where I work. You're the first, correction, second person to see it.
Why'd you bring me here?
Because I want to know just how badly you want Tony Zuko.
What do you mean? Who are you?
I take it Master Dick's visit will now be indefinite? You're out there somewhere, Zuko.
And thus we have the birth of the dynamic duo.
I've been taught by the best.
I guess they didn't really have a place to put it in story-wise, but it would have been really nice, I think, to see the younger version of Dick in the Robin outfit, like the original Robin outfit. But we do get to see a more Dick Sprang style Robin in the later episode Legends of the Dark Knight. So we just gotta wait a few more seasons to see it.
Come on, Dolan. I have his address somewhere.
Batman, you taught Robin too well. He's no slouch in the detective department himself. Meanwhile, at the abandoned amusement park,
Yeah, who is it? Hello? Hello? Who's there?
Gotcha.
I don't like it. You sure Batman didn't follow you? Nah, Dolan's no squealer. You got nothing to worry about. Buddy, don't tell me.
Thomas Wilson, this wouldn't be his only foray into the DC universe. He would later appear as Ronnie Raymond, aka half of Firestorm on Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Who are you, boss?
I like the original Robin outfit the best. And the original Robin outfit is the classic. You got to have it represented, I feel like. Even if you don't actually, like, have him wear
Sounds like
that original Robin costume, you definitely want to acknowledge it. So I think, like I said, it would have been cool to see a flashback where he was wearing that original Robin costume. But I've got to imagine that it did exist in this universe because when we see the episode later on, Legends of the Dark Knight, and two of the kids tell their story of, this is what I think Batman's like, and they describe Robin as wearing the classic Robin costumes, the Burt Ward type Robin costume. And one of them was that Dick Sprang Golden Age Robin, like I was talking about, and the other one was Carrie Kelly, as she appeared on the Batman's Injured.
Oh, what's the matter, Bat?
Carrie Kelly from The Dark Knight Returns. That was
Looks
what it
like
was.
you could use a little protection about now.
Uh-oh.
Protection is my racket.
So he's about to be glad Robin shows up because he's in some trouble now.
9 years, creep. 9 years of looking over my shoulder. No more. I'm sending you straight to a back box.
Huh.
No!
But he's out of ammo. Batman being injured and being at a little bit of a disadvantage.
What are you kids standing around here for? Get out here! Now!
His mother designed it.
Not far. You saw how he was limping.
Now, I haven't watched the Batman cartoon since I haven't seen that episode since first aired. It's been a while. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one again. So, because they had their own take on Robin's origin. I think in that one, if I remember correctly, Kevin Conroy, who plays Batman in this show, I think that he played Robin's father in that. I think that he played John Grayson, if I remember correctly. And of course, Adam West played Marion Grange in that series. So they made sure to pay their proper respects to the previous TV Batman actors. But yeah, I'm probably going to go back and rewatch that show sometime soon because it was a pretty good show. I did recently rewatch the animated movie that they did for that series, The Batman versus Dracula, which that's really good. That's a pretty awesome movie. Even if you haven't seen the series, I think that movie stands on its own well enough. And like the Joker gets turned into a vampire, it's really creepy. But that was some of my Halloween movie. That was some of my Halloween viewing. That was one of the Dracula movies I watched when I was watching all those Dracula movies. I mean, if there's a Dracula movie with Batman in it, you know I'm gonna watch that. Or a Batman movie with Dracula in it, however you want to look at that.
Get him! Get him!
This must be like TMS animation, I'm thinking. Because animation's really good on this episode. Batman's leg. He's got the splint on it, but he's still having a hard time with it.
Round and round we go, eh, bats? Right? Over. No, boss! Don't! Wait! You can't!
But having the injury to Batman adds some stakes to it because we've seen him handle gangsters like this no problem all throughout this series. And of course, Robin has to have his payback against his parents' murderer. Oh, that's a great shot there with the bat cycle sliding, and not this time, Zuko.
Believe this. You're through, Zuko. Forever.
He's got his Batman voice going on.
I've waited a long time.
Throwing him into barrels of what apparently is toxic waste. Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna pull a Jason Todd?
Robin. Enough. You can't let your emotions get the best of you.
Stuff your advice, Batman. You and your stone cold heart. You don't know how I feel. How could you?
Really?
Batman,
Yeah.
I didn't mean it.
Sometimes you get upset and you say something stupid. And Robin just realized he said something really stupid. But you finally did it. You caught the man who killed your parents. A little smile from Batman. He's so proud of the kid.
You're right, not bringing me along. You knew I'd take it too personally.
It wasn't that well. It
I love
wasn't
this.
that at all. Zuko's taken so much, caused you so much pain. I couldn't stand the thought that he might take you, too.
Come on, partner. It's been a long night.
Yeah. Man, that was a great episode. Lots of good action, lots of good emotion, lots of good drama. We got some great voice acting from some fine performers. Let's go ahead and appreciate that vocal cast. We got Kevin Conroy as Batman, Bob Hastings as Commissioner Gordon, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. as Alfred, Rebecca Gilchrist as Chi-Chi, Linda Gary as Birdie. Linda Gary is a very prolific, or was a very prolific voice actress. She did a lot of stuff for Filmation. The main voice that I can think of that I remember her for is she was Teela on the original He-Man cartoon. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. She was Teela on that. Charles Howerton as Lenny. Lauren Lester as Robin. Joey Simran as Dick Grayson, age 9, as opposed to Dick Grayson, age 13. Anybody who's heard All-Star Batman and Robin gets that joke. Lionel Mark Smith as the bus driver, and Thomas Wilson as Zuko. Man, Thomas Wilson is a great actor. That's a guy who does not get enough credit, I feel like. I've seen him in a lot of things, and he's always good. And, of course, his most famous role is Biff Tannen in the Back to the Future films, and he's fantastic in that. But he's been so good in so many things. I kind of feel like he just never gets enough credit like he deserves. So let's see what our next episode of Batman the Animated Series is going to be, and it's going to be Birds of a Feather, which, if you're not familiar with it, you might have figured out from the name. It's a Penguin episode, and you know I love the Penguin. So I'm going to be really excited to watch that one. So that will probably be Monday, because my weekend is going to be jam-packed full of stuff. I'm lucky I was even able to do this. And the only reason I was actually able to do this is because I woke up way too early and wasn't able to get back to sleep. But I think I can probably go ahead and try to take a nap now. I think that might be something that I can actually accomplish. I did do some work with some action figures, though, and here's a little thing I'm working on. I'm doing another Snake Eyes. Can't do enough Snake Eyes figures, apparently. So so yeah, that's coming up. So I probably need to do some reels of some of these newer figures I've been working on. So maybe I'll try to get around to doing that sometime on Monday too. But uh, but yeah, I'm expecting to be pretty tuckered out by this weekend. So yeah. Thanks for watching this episode with me. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you did, make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. If you want to try to catch these whenever I go live, you want to hit that little bell down there and make sure that you turn that to gray, and that'll warn you anytime that I'm going live, and you can go ahead and join in, or wait till it's over and then watch it with the episode. How I always recommend you do these is put the episode up on your TV and put me on your phone, and then just listen to me gab on through the episode. So don't recommend you do that as your first time watching the episode, but if you're familiar enough with these episodes, I hopefully won't be too distracting. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. Like I said, Birds of a Feather will be our next one, and then let's see. We don't have much longer, because I remember from last time when I checked, we don't have much longer till we get to Mask of the Phantasm, which I'm really excited about. I hope you guys are excited about that too. Like I've said before, this is probably the best version of my favorite character, and Mask of the Phantasm is probably Batman the Animated Series at its best. So that's episode 64, Paging the Crime Doctor, and right now we are at episode 58, Birds of a Feather. Oh, sorry, 53, Birds of a Feather. So just a little over 10 episodes till we get to Paging the Crime Doctor, and then we'll take our little break and watch Mask of the Phantasm, and then we'll be right back to Batman the Animated Series with the Worrymen. I'm gonna fit Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero into my viewing also, but I'm not. I'm actually gonna do something a little different with that one instead of trying to watch it in as close to chronological order as possible. That one I'm gonna fit in between the Adventures of Batman and Robin and New Batman Adventures. I'm gonna fit it in chronologically as far as the story goes, because to me that makes more sense. Anyway, we'll talk to you next time. Bye.